Well, I guess if you're waking up this morning and you're seeing this, it is quite a surprise because, first of all, there had been rumors going around that ESPN was going to acquire the NFL network, and that they have. They've acquired it. Basically, from what I understand, games will still be seen on the NFL network, but it'll be under the ESPN watch. In other words, basically, ESPN will have, I guess you could say, the final say, in what takes place on the network and everything. They'll choose like who is in studio and who's doing the broadcast and all that. But that's not the only thing. Now, earlier this year, it was announced that ESPN was going to be putting out a new a new streaming platform service, just called ESPN or ESPN DTC, direct to consumer service, and enhanced app, as you can see here on the Walt Disney Company's own uh, website. But that's not the only thing that was announced. It has been speculated for quite some time whether or not WWE and ESPN were going to get in bed together officially, and now they have. As of yesterday, it was announced that WWE, starting in January of next year, will be the streaming platform for WWE Premium Live events, with some selective events also being seen on linear ESPN networks. But here's the article right here. I'm gonna scroll this up for you guys. It states right here, and I quote: ESPN will launch its new, previously announced direct-to-consumer streaming service on Thursday, August 21st, basically in 2 weeks, bringing the full suite of ESPN networks and services within an enhanced ESPN app with new personalized features and functionality directly to the fans. Continuing on. Timed for a marquee stretch of live sports programming across ESPN platforms, the launch of ESPN DTC coincides with the start of the college football and NFL seasons, U.S. Open tennis, international soccer, women's college soccer, volleyball, field hockey, and more. With the start of the WNBA playoffs, PLL playoffs, and the NBA and NHL season, as well as UFC and WWE events just around the corner. And scratch my nose there for a second. Designed to give, okay, let me continue. Designed to give fans more choice and flexibility, ESPN DTC will offer two plans, including an unlimited plan for $30, basically $30 a month, that gives fans access to all of ESPN's linear networks, ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, SECN, ACCN, ESPNEWS, ESPN Deportes, in addition to ESPN on ABC, ESPN Plus, ESPN3, SECN Plus, and ACCNX, covering four, covering 47,000 live events each year, on-demand replays, studio shows, original programming, and more. Bundling opportunities for the ESPN Unlimited plan with Disney Plus and Hulu include a special offer at launch for $29.99 a month for the first 12 months. All subscribers to ESPN's Unlimited plan, either through ESPN DTC or a traditional paid TV provider, will have live and on-demand access to all of ESPN's leading studio shows, including SportsCenter, Get Up, First Take, NFL Live, the Pat McAfee Show, Pardon the Interruption, College Game Day, NBA Today, Inside the NBA, The Rich Eisner Show, and more, plus a robust of on-demand library featuring 30 for 30 films, ESPN originals, replays, and more. The enhanced ESPN app will introduce a more personalized dynamic viewing experience for fans. New features will include updated multi-view options, integrated game stats, betting information, fantasy sports, and, and commerce. And, and commerce, along with a personalized sports center for you. It says for more detail, check out a link right here. We're going to check that out right now. And basically, let's see, make sure there's the date and everything here. But yeah, this is what it is right here. So this is basically the select. So the unlimited plan, you get all this for $29.99. Now you do get another one. You get ESPN Plus only for $11.99 on the select plan. It says more than 32,000 live events, annually, a robust library, and all that for $11.99. Now, now here's the thing. Basically, that fans are gonna wonder. With WWE bringing its premium live events over to ESPN, is it going to be included in this, or are we going to have to, pay like with the UFC? Are we going to have to pay separate? I don't know. It says 32,000 live sporting events annually, but does that mean we still have to pay? Now, here's some questions. You know, Fans can choose from two plans. Unlimited, they'll get all this. It's access to available on ESPN Plus, including 32,000 live events, robust library, stuff like that. They're going to ask us promo codes. Yes, a special offer is available for the Disney Plus, Hulu, and Unlimited ESPN Unlimited bundle with ads on Disney Plus and Hulu at $29.99 a month for the first 12 months. Now, of course, different plans will include no ads and all that, but it goes higher. It says, what is happening to ESPN Plus? If I'm an ESPN Plus subscriber, will I still have access to the same content? Yes, ESPN Plus will continue to be available in various ways, including via subscription to the ESPN Select plan and certain demand MVPD packages. Existing will become subscribers to the ESPN Selected plan will ensure the transitions are smooth and communicated clearly to customers. And then here you got more information here and all that. So you're looking at this and you're thinking, okay, this all sounds probably. And you look at this and you're like, yeah, this sounds pretty good. But what about the premium live events? Like, are they going to be part of the plan, or is ESPN going to say, yeah, you got to pay us extra for those? You see, that's what people want to know. People want to know that. They want to know, basically, are we going to have to pay extra? Because um, one of the things with it, or with this, basically, is it's early when I'm doing this, guys. I do apologize. But one of the things people will wonder is, and I'm also looking through all this, but people will wonder basically like, um, will they still have to pay separately for the premium live events? Will they have to like with UFC, they're part of ESPN Plus, but they still have to pay for them. People still have to separately pay for them at enormous prices. Will the same basically apply to here? Will it apply to WWE, or WWE work it out to where, hey, if we're going to be part of this, the people have to have access to this automatically. We'll have to see. Now, here's what it says. It says WrestleMania will be part of ESPN's new direct-to-consumer streaming service starting in 2026, thanks to an agreement between WWE and ESPN. The deal announced Wednesday includes two-night events like WrestleMania and SummerSlam, plus other WWE premium live events, including Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, and Money in the Bank. WWE will produce the events for ESPN platforms, which will serve as the exclusive U.S. domestic home. WWE has an immersed and devoted and passionate fan base that we're excited to super serve on our new ESPN DTC platform, says Chairman Jimmy Peretro. This agreement, which features the most significant WWE events of the year, bolsters our unprecedented content portfolio and helps drive our streaming future. Also included is the opportunity for ESPN to stream WWE's pre- and post-event shows for premium live events. We're proud to reinforce the E in ESPN at such an exciting juncture in this direct-to-consumer journey, said Mark Shapiro, President and Chief Operator TKO. WWE Premium Live events are re-renowned for exactly the type of rich storytelling, incredible feats of athleticism, and can't-miss culture tentpole experiences. They have become synonymous with ESPN. Through our UFC relationship, we have experienced firsthand how transformational an ESPN presence can be, and we know this will be an exceptional partnership at a time of great innovation for both companies. ESPN will launch its streaming service on August 21st with a $29.99 pre-month price point, and will keep the Linear Network's name ESPN. The direct-to-consumer service will allow users to get all 7 ESPN domestic linear networks. I'm trying to read here, I do apologize. In addition to ESPN on ABC and several other um, streaming options. The WWE events previously streamed on Peacock in 2025. So, what does this actually mean, though? So what does it actually mean? I mean, it sounds great that they're going to be on a huge platform like ESPN, and ESPN connected with Disney. That's going to do wonders. But the question obviously is, are they, 'cause the way I'm reading this, based on both, ways, the way I'm reading this is, you know, they say, they're basically saying you're going to get, like, depending on the plan, that you get selective or unlimited, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to go with unlimited. They're saying like 47,000 events, right? So does that mean that the premium live events, these here, these events here, will this, be part of that? Will we be able to get that like we've been getting, with Peacock, with the description there, or are we going to have to pay extra? See, that's the question. That's the question. I'm sure people like JD from NY206, Solomonster, Heel Jesse, OTR Central, Just Alex, they're all going to be asking this. They're going to be asking, okay, you want us to pay $29.99, $30 a month for this, or 300 a year for this service. That's the unlimited service. But does that mean we get the events, as included in that, or do we have to pay extra? Because if we have to pay extra, it better be affordable. It better be like, yeah, Royal Rumble is, 60 and all that. It's like it better be something that we can enjoy, because, it better be something that we can enjoy price wise, if that's the case, I should say. But, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Because again, the way they make it sound like to me with this is everything is going to be for free. You just got to you got to do the monthly payment. Now you might say, well, wait a minute. They did this with ESPN Plus and everything. They did this with ESPN Plus, and people still had to pay for UFC. That's true. That's true. They did have to pay for UFC, but the way they're making it sound here, the way they're making it sound here is they see potentially the value in, hey, we could charge 11.99. It's like I think what they're looking at is, if the events UFC and WWE are offered, as part of the packaging, basically for free, if you will, you know, uh, I'm thinking, obviously they're seeing the benefit that, yeah, people are buying, the UFC events when they happen. They happen once in a while, almost every few months. You know, but they're like, yeah, people are buying them, but they're not buying them as they used to. And I think they're also seeing people are pirating. Like I have a family member, a nephew. He says he has some kind of box or something. I don't know what it is that allows him to. Well, it has a link, I should say, that allows him to watch a lot of events, UFC, WWE, for free. He doesn't have to worry about anything. So the question is, will the question is, does TKO notice that? And obviously they have to. Do they notice people do that stuff? Do they find these outlets that let them watch the programs, the events for free? I should say. Do they see this and they're like, you know what? We can't let that happen anymore. We need to we need to have that money come to us. So it's part of this new thing saying, hey, you want UFC 350, you want UFC 375 or whatever. Guess what? Go to this platform, this new ESPN platform, and guess what? You get it for free. You get it for free when you join this plan. When you join the unlimited plan, when you join the select plan, you'll get it for free. So, you have to wonder. You have to wonder if maybe that's, and that was my phone going off there. I do apologize. But you have to wonder if that's going to be the case, going forward. If that's what's going to happen, going forward and everything. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see what they got planned and everything. Again, this is just happening. The details, as they said, are still coming out. Obviously making the deal with WWE to bring the premium live events to this new platform. It's just got announced, and we don't know everything yet. We don't know everything yet. But I can say this: if we have to pay extra on top of paying annually, or not annual, but monthly, 29.99 or even 2.99 yearly, if we still have to pay an extra $80 or extra $60 or $50 for the event, then that's not a good deal. But the way they're making it sound, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. The way they're making it sound is that this being the big one of the more lucrative price points, the unlimited plan, the way they're making it sound, basically, the way they're making it sound, so I try to go back to that. See, here it is. Go back to that link. The way they're making it sound is when you get this, and maybe even this, just based on this description here and all that, what it sounds like to me is you do this and maybe even this, then you're going to get the premium live events. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking, because you're going to get ESPN Plus as a part of all of this. ESPN Plus is going to be here, or it's going to be on its own, but that kind of tells me it might be free, depending on what plan you get. But we'll see what happens. If not, I could tell you the backlash fans are going to give ESPN starting later this month, because UFC is going to be one of the first major events that's going to be on there, right? One of the first combat sport events on there, right? So that if they decide, hey, let's charge $60 for UFC 300, 3 something, right? 300, what is it? 320, 325, 350, whatever. Hey, let's try, like if they decide let's charge, $60 for UFC 325 or 350, when it comes up later this month or next month, that's going to get some backlash. Fans are going to be like, well, wait a minute. So you're telling us we still got to pay extra for this? That don't make sense. So hopefully we'll get more clarity on that, going forward, if you will, going forward. But let me know what your thoughts are on this new ESPN DTC plan, direct-to-consumer service. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what plan you might get, on, depending on, what you feel more comfortable with. And do you believe WWE and UFC events might be free? The premium live events will be free, you know, as part of one of the plans you'll get, either this one or the other one, or even some other ones they have as well. But let me know what your thoughts are. Love to hear from each and every one of you on this. And I know JD from NY206 is going to talk about this. I know Just Alex is going to talk about this. And I know, Solid Monster this Sunday is going to talk about this. But give me your thoughts, guys. Love to hear from each and every one of you on this. Let me know what your thoughts are. Comment down below, like the video, ring the bell for notifications, subscribe to the channel, click on the links in the description to find my content also outside of YouTube, as well as click on the link to the Teespring song at the bottom of the description page or description box to get merchandise you can't get anywhere else. But give me your thoughts, guys. Love to hear what you have to say about this. And until then, I am out.